So let's start with paper 2 discussion. Already we had discussed paper 1 in very detail few weeks back. See, paper 2 section B was a bit difficult, we can say, especially those all technical etc. questions they ask. Government is also moving towards digital India, so they also want you to be proficient in digital aspect. Everything digital governance is happening. Even the UPSC chairman has a background of being at IIT computers etc. So maybe chairman comes, every chairman has different set of policies. He may be have given or may not have. It is all inferable. No matter how the paper is, it's our work to write answers. Even if they are GS specific, don't make a mistake of writing answers as GS 1, 2, 3 or 4. Public administration is public administration. Public administration is not political science, not management, and certainly not general studies. We all know how the evolution of public administration happened and how it had to fight for a disciplinary status. And if you are writing answers GS2 specific or even not connecting paper 2 with paper 1, you be rest assured you won't get marks. That is very much accepted in public administration. To fix these aspects, any one of you can score very well in public administration. So yes, we had already had a brief discussion of paper 2. You should be attempting question 2. Specifically, you should be attempting 2 questions in section A and 1 question in section B. Those Aadhaar, CP grams, etc. is better you skip. It's not a good choice to attempt, but some may have attempted. Doesn't matter. People have different set of knowledge, different set of skills. For them, it can be a good option. So question 2, question 3 you should be attempting. And of course, there was only one choice, question 7. So even you can attempt question 8, but problem lies here, training and capacity building. Okay, no worries, mains is over. It's our work to now analyze things. Let's discuss each question in detail. See, yes, like said earlier, to score well in public administration paper 2, see, there are 2 types of questions. One, you can say more of current affairs, and one we can say is directly related to the syllabus, core aspects you can say. See, core aspects means there is directly linkages to the paper 2 syllabus, but you should not only be writing paper 2 only. So you have to connect with paper 1 plus, if possible, some current affair examples are there to write, and those which are current affairs, step increases in writing. First, you have to relate with paper 2 syllabus, then you have to link with paper 1, and plus you have to write examples. But if you skip this and this in this, then you are writing general studies answers and you won't get marks, that is for sure. Here also, this will enrich your answers, will push your score to an above average level. Say, if 120 is the average in paper 2, you do this, you can reach 150 and 160 depending upon the marking pattern which UPSC adopts. So this is very hypothetical, 120 etc. Every year UPSC has different marking pattern. Some years 120 may be a very good score and some years 120 will be a very average score. UPSC keeps on changing the marking pattern etc. every year so that it remains unpredictable. But our work should be doing this while writing paper 2. Okay. So let's discuss each question in detail. We'll start with question 2. We'll start with the bigger question first so that we can give more time to that. See, even if you may have not written the aspects we have been discussing now, don't worry, things may work differently in the paper. This we can say it's an idealistic discussion, but it's more often you can take it as a broad way or the way you should think while writing answers. Okay. See question 2, pretty much simple question. 2a, it says colonial legacy is responsible for the many administrative problems in India as the role of company agent traders evolved into magistrate, governors and civil servants. Lot of variables in the questions. So variables are there. First step should be breaking the question, identifying the variables and keep plucking those variables and writing answers. So many variables, there should not be a dearth of the content. So let's break the question. This talks about the first chapter of the paper 2, that is evolution chapter, British legacy. So colonial legacy. Colonial legacy. Legacy is responsible for administrative problems. As company agents, traders, etc. got transformed into governors and magistrate and civil servants. So this is basically what the question is talking about. Okay. So right in the introduction, India inherited a colonial legacy in the administration, as we have continued with the same structure. ICS got converted into All India Services. So then you write what are the role of the, now you write this company agents, etc. How administration evolved in India. See, during the British time, first East India Company came. There were East India Company and their agents. Agents were highly corrupt, asking for bribes, etc. For that, then what came? A regulating act of 1773 that seeks to regulate the affairs of the company because of corruption. So it was agents. Then it came the regulating act to control the this bribery, etc. Then later these agents were etc. They later transformed into what? District administration, and the office of Governor General was also appointed 1773 itself to regulate the trade. So that way it has the colonial legacy. This colonial legacy has many administrative problems even today. So you can divide into structure and behavioral. Write in one line, structure problems, very tall hierarchy, Weberian hierarchy. Then ivory tower approach, that is viewing development from a distance. Everyone wants to work in a secretariat. No one wants to go to the field because situations are tough at the field level. Then we have a paternalistic attitude, my bap, that is what is a paternalistic attitude, that we are for the earth, for the welfare of the people, they are dependent on us, we are my bap, we will not empower them, remain dependent on us, my bap attitude. Then what does bureaucratic attitude, slow movement, red tape, that even exists today. So this legacy even has the continuation of legacy results into these administrative problems even in the present India. So you can write. Then even many think tanks, etc. term the Indian bureaucracy as the worst bureaucracy. It's a it's a nightmare to deal with the Indian bureaucracy because of this colonial legacy. Then you take one of these variables and take governor. Governor General office was there, and we have governors at the state. Governor General was appointed by who? The British Parliament. There is democracy, and here rule of the administration, executive and legislative powers was with the Governor General. There was mini parliament, etc. But ultimately power rests with the Governor General. So at the state level, we have governors acting as a agent of the center. Then there are issues, reservation of bill, the Tamil Nadu case, governors colluding with the central government to bring down the state government, Maharashtra case. So this all represents a colonial legacy even today. Then civil service, if you want to open up police administration. On one side, we have a modern democracy, constitution which is liberal, modern. We have reforms in the BNS. Amit Shahji tells what he says. Whenever now under BNS, when a person goes to the police station, he used to think whether he will get a justice. Now he is very sure that justice will be delivered. And one side, there is custodial death in Tamil Nadu, Thoothukudi district. Such a brutal way that watchman was killed. So this is what reminiscent of the colonial legacy, even in structurally, functionally and behaviorally as well. But you should not totally agree that it is only because of the colonial legacy. Where administration comes from? They come from the society itself. As Kaushik Basu says, there is Sanskritization of corruption in our country. So administrator, along with the colonial legacy, the society itself is responsible. Further, when this will come down, when there is what? Participative political culture. That aspect is also mentioned in your syllabus, political culture. Yes, constitutionalism, participative political culture. You have, constitution has been given in the framework, but ways have been found to work in such a way that it questions the justice, liberty, equality, emergency, misuse of CBI, ED. So this is not only because of the colonial legacy, but the politics also, the society as well. Though it's not totally right to say that administrative problems, yes, there exist, but there have been minimized or reduced with reforms. Prime Minister talks about holistic development. To carry out holistic development, there should be, people should take the punch prun, and one of the punch prun is shedding the colonial mindset. Yes, reform, transform, digital governance, efforts have been made to shed this colonial legacy. And you can write some good work was done even in the colonial India by district magistrate Henry Cotton, W.D. Wood in cholera epidemic. And even today, things have been done. Good work, right? And many examples are there. But in the colonial legacy, you can also write how, unfortunately, many of the people who clear the civil services are caught taking brag in the very first posting. This is what colonial legacy. Now recent case in Madhya Pradesh, writing book on ethics and 10 crore bribe. So this is what colonial mentality. That way you write. So ARC2 talks about shedding the colonial mentality by moving away from the Weberian structure to principle of subsidiarity, doing away with the entire colonial administration of secretariat, directorate to based on the principle of subsidiarity. So this way you can write governors, etc. You should connect. Some people we interacted, they missed on writing things on governor. This two only they wrote. I think you should balance three things. Okay, then good. Governor, Governor General, and State Governor. So that way you can write. Yeah, but you can club it. Magistrate, they mostly are referring to district collector, civil servant, the entire institution of civil services. When Nehru was against civil services. So you can write, but the steel frame has also, at the same time, it's corroded, but also become stronger. Like the former finance secretary in his book writes, the steel in steel frame will remain strong when the civil servants have the courage to tell the minister that things are wrong, you should rethink about it. And even if the civil servant, even if the minister does not change, then you should get in writing or seek a transfer. That way he was also shunted out from the finance ministry. Okay, so this way you should be writing this on these lines. Yes, lot of federalism questions. 3-4 federalism questions have come. So despite the division of subjects, union government contributes towards the subjects in the state. Concurrent list, discuss its pros and cons. So division of subject, 7th schedule, union government contributes to state, and concurrent list, pros and cons in context of fiscal federalism. So this is basically you have to write in context of fiscal federalism, not in the in terms of the legislative relations. Here indirectly you are talking legislative relations, then you have to connect with fiscal federalism. One question they asked talking about administrative relations. So all federalism aspects they have asked. Also cooperative federalism they asked. If that was not enough, NITI Aayog also they asked. So many questions on federalism. So start. India is a quasi-federal country with a strong bend towards center. The division of subjects have been divided into union list, state list and concurrent list. Originally there were how many? 97. Now it's 100. State list, there are 47, 52, 61 and 66. Now, so this was the division before when the constitution came into being, and this is the division now. Despite the division, there has been division. Then you can write in briefly, union list, union has power, state list, state has power, but there are some provision when union can also make laws, emergency, etc. Then and concurrent lists both have powers, but overriding the parliament has the power and residual powers with the so and so with the center. Okay, so this can be your introduction. So write then how the state has been, union has been contributed towards the state and the concurrent lists. So state list you write that the centrally sponsored schemes, that education, health comes under state list. Then we have, what is that, Ayushman Bharat scheme, education is in concurrent list. But we have national education policy, it has been contributed. Why it has been contributing? Because then you write in the pros that we need a uniform development. Some states may not have the fiscal capacity to fund these initiatives, such as the least developed state. You can mention Bihar, northeastern states. So the state puts its finances. Even by one estimate, it says that states can generate only 40% of their revenue, as the major taxation powers are with the central government, income tax, corporate tax, and now with GST also. What is happening? All indirect taxes, powers of the state government, local government has been taken up by the central government. So taxation powers are less, so they have to contribute that way. Then you can also write 42nd Amendment Act, education etc. was taken into concurrent list. So even wildlife etc. it has international obligation as well, Paris commitments etc., Biodiversity Act. So that way it contributes to the fiscal aspects of those subjects as well. So write cons. Cons may be many. What are the cons? The state government, the union government contributing over state subject over concurrent lists leads to uniformity and does not take into the consideration the diverse aspect. For example, now new education policy created a lot of problems, especially in the state of Tamil Nadu. they were saying we won't implement. So it led to more repercussion, government holding up the funds of Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. So this fiscal problems. Now further, you can also write with the the finance commission acts as a balancing wheel of fiscal federalism. But for the first time, 15th Finance Commission had recommended some granting aid to 3 states. But the central government did not accept it. So balancing wheel also, many aspects have been taken away from there was planning commission, who at least the states were consulted. Now those powers are with whom? Ministry of Finance. Is there a consultation with Ministry of Finance? So it's more of centralizing tendencies that creates problem, financial problem for the states. And also many centrally sponsored schemes, they have a state component, at least 60-40, some 70-30, some states have, or 90-10, some states have. So 60% of the funds will be given by the center and 40% state are already pressed for funds, and you are saying implement this, and after 2-3 years it becomes 100% you have to pay. So this creates problem, autonomy, and that further result in problem at the local level. The states don't delegate more finances to the local bodies, they suffer from the 3 Fs. And there is also State Finance Commission who is to give some funds to the net distribution of net proceed of taxes between the local bodies. If there is no fund is coming, then what fund they will give? So it also leads to disempowerment of the local bodies. So that way you can write, but at the end you can also open up the angle that fiscal federalism creates the fiscal federalism also creates problems with other aspects, legislative federalism and even the administrative federalism. So that we can write that reservation of bill etc. by the Tamil Nadu government. So it overall compromises the cooperative federalism nature of the our polity. But you can further write that Punchi Commission had recommended, had made some recommendations that whenever you are making law in the concurrent list, you should consult the state government. Also, there should be finance commission should be of permanent nature, which will constantly review all these things, the fiscal nature, fiscal division. So these 2 recommendations you can write. Also, you can further add an angle that that some states are in the pros that they are dependent on the granting aids etc. from the central government. So that aspect you also can write. So and also strengthening the interstate council. There is dialogue discussion that should also Punchi Commission says that the recommendation of the interstate council should be binding in nature. So in a way it can act as a forum to promote interactive influence system as outlined by Likert. So this way then there will be a federal nature, another aspect of federalism, and there can be we can promote cooperative federalism. So this way you can write this answer. It's pretty much simple question, but challenge is writing public administration specific. Yeah, sure.
So regarding the concurrent list, it is fine that some kind of influence will be there, but in the state list, how?
State list centrally sponsored schemes. See, also from police also aspect. Police is a state subject, and centrally sponsored schemes are those schemes where center makes schemes which are in the state list. So the Ayushman Bharat Health is in the state subject. So they are making schemes and they say it's a centrally sponsored scheme. We will provide 60% of the funds, we provide 40% of the funds. Also, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao may be irrelevant for South Indian states. Sex ratio is already at a proper level. So diversity aspects are not taken into consideration. Police is a state subject, but they need to bring reforms also with respect to the the changing nature of the law and order. So they also provide modernization funds. That way it works on the state list also. Also emergency, state emergency, then totally governor rule. Central takes the powers of in the state list. The misuse of governor rule, etc. That also aspects you can. That way, state list, and then also how the 42nd Amendment Act removed the state of state subjects to the concurrent list: education, then wildlife, biodiversity, weights and measure, and administration of justice. So what state have a say in that? That's why Punchi Commission says that we use interstate council to have a dialogue with them. If GST can act as a pillar of cooperative federalism and fiscal relations, why not interstate relation in other aspects? Interstate council. Okay. So we'll take this another federalism question. Question number 3C. We'll take it. We'll take a federal in one line in chronological. Then we'll come to the others. Similar questions we'll discuss in groups. So here, center-state administrative relations are a matter of debate, as constitutional provision created a strong center. So center-state administrative or center-state executive relation, they used interchangeably. So article which is 256 to 263 deals with the administrative relations. So administrative relations, it has created a strong center. You write then strong center, you can write that list, etc. How we are quasi-federal nature, center has more powers. Administrative relations, what you will write? First, governor, then all India services, then central police agencies, CAPF is okay, CBI, ED. So because of this, you should revolve around these points. Have created a strong state, a strong center, but there has been a matter of debate. First, take governor. How there is a misuse of governor, position of governor. Governor acts as the agent of the center, is appointed by the central government. So the problems, many issues keeps on happening. You can write the Tamil Nadu case, reservation of bill, the Kerala case, Maharashtra case. That example you can write. How there has been this issue with respect to governor, and many states have been constantly saying that abolish this office of governor itself. So this is the problem. It's a matter of debate. Strong center, but center becomes very strong, more of a unitary state, especially nowadays when the state is ruled by the opposition parties. Then all India services, appointment by the center, and the disciplinary actions, total control by the center. They work for the state. So many states also in the past have talked about abolition of the all India services, especially ruled by regional parties, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh during the Samajwadi era, or even Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. They were against all India services. It says it hampers the growth of the state service personals. And further it puts a fiscal challenge also. They have to pay according to the central pay commission, not the state pay commission. So financial challenges also it put. And yes, of course, the central agencies, CBI, ED, how it's been misused. Many states have withdrew the general consent. Even Supreme Court commented that enforcement directorate is against the use of enforcement directorate is against the federal structure of our country. So that way you write. Then if there are problems, then you should also provide some solutions as well. So what you will write? You should provide a way forward on this as well. Yes, federal relation, the best commission in India happened is M.M. Punchi Commission. So right, he talks about governor. There should be consultation while appointing the governor among with the state government. There should be impeachment process for the governor because it's an elected government and governor is stalling everything, not allowing to pass bills, etc. But here the Punchi Commission says the office of governor should not be abolished. Many states were demanding. So to protect the federal nature, then on all India services, here Punchi Commission says there should be an encadrement of state personnel in all India services. Already it happens, you must be knowing, but the commission says even encadrement from the local bodies, people who are working in the urban local bodies or the Gram Panchayat or ZP, etc., they too should be incorporated in the all India services, local encadrement. But further he says that Punji Commission says more all India services should be created in health, education, etc. And further, it recommends that every 10 years there are pay commissions. So there is also demand by the state government employees that you also match our pay. So in that sense, the central government should provide some funds to the state government as well. And yes, misuse of CBI ED. That time when commission was formed, there was no such misuse. So you can quote Supreme Court against the federal nature. There should be more delegation, restraint use or use as per the constitutional values. Not to, you should not write not to bring down the government, but keeping in mind the constitutional morality of the country. So this is what you should write about the administrative relations. Just one more federal question. Let's take question 1B, NITI Aayog. Again, some federal aspects are there. Now trace the reasons for the limited effectiveness of NITI Aayog. Directly UPSC has declared that that NITI Aayog has a limited effectiveness. So they are saying that the problems which were there in the planning commission era, they have not been fixed. Maybe and it doesn't even say that you have to critically analyze or etc. So yes, NITI Aayog, simple question, but you should write some current aspects. Then you will get marks. Any person with no public administration option can also write. But you are writing in public administration, so bear in mind that. So write in the introduction, NITI Aayog. NITI Aayog, if I learn to write from historical aspect, that it was replaced by planning commission, which was represented the Nehruvian era of centralized planning, and NITI Aayog came into being in 2015 in a way to promote deliberative democracy of Mary Parker Follett, or Theory Y. It has regional councils, then there is subgroup panel, where and it has CM, governing council, all CM participate. So it acts as a think tank to the government of India. Alright, then basically four aspects NITI Aayog works on. What is one? Policy, acting as a think tank. Then development, monitoring and evaluation office, and cooperative federalism. So these are the four aspects which NITI Aayog works on. So pluck one aspect and write how it's been limitedly effective. Policy, it that it also makes indicative planning, bottom-up planning, national, what is that? National vision document, strategy, and 3-year plan, action agenda. So that it made policy. Now those reports were released. NITI Aayog India at 75. What happened to that? Did they review that? Whether we were able to achieve those aspects? What about the review power? It acts as a think tank. A think tank should critically analyze the functioning of the government, the schemes, etc. So how many critical analysis of the central government scheme it has done? It's been analyzing the development of states only. Those all those indices, health indices, etc. Competitive federalism. So competition among the states. What about the central government? It failed to predict COVID, that it will have such a devastating impact on the Indian economy or the general population. Also now the Trumpism etc. is coming, where the tariff war is going on. What is the way out of it? It should have predicted that also. It has a think tank to the government of India. So in that aspect it has failed. Now here too, it monitors etc. those indices etc. and failed to monitor the central government aspects. What report? Have you read any report? It talks critically analyzes the central government functioning. And of course, cooperative federalism. One of the pillars which it stands is cooperative federalism. But 9th Governing Council meet happened last year. It was not attended by 10 chief ministers and administrators. The former Telangana Chief Minister KCR said, NITI Aayog represents a very lofty organization where center asks the states to fall in line. This is it saying. What happens at NITI Aayog? There is a meeting, all chief ministers come, they raise their grievances. And what happened to those grievances? In a way, the center brings to table to all the state government people, chief ministers, you agree to our policies. And recently NITI Aayog meeting happened this year in May something. Then Chief Minister of Punjab said that there is a mistreatment of Punjab by the center. What happened after that? So it's more of a ventilation therapy as outlined by Elton Mayo. You come, you talk, you feel things have gone better, but nothing in actuality happened. Whatever center is wanting, that is happening. Now what NITI Aayog recommended the farm reforms, and look what happened. Farmer bills and etc. that protest, and in the end has to take back. Shouldn't this council be used? Governing council meet to talk with the states. What are the issues? We are bringing these reforms. Should we bring? Then what cooperative federalism it's promoting? In the 9th Governing Council meet, West Bengal CM was talking, and in between her mic was shut, and she walked away and said, I will never participate in the NITI Aayog meet. In the 10th Governing Council meet, 3 South Indian state chief ministers did not participate. And interestingly, Puducherry CM did not participate despite being part of the ruling NDA. Their only people are not participating. But why is that? This people do not participate, etc. See, Planning Commission had powers to allocate funds as well. And there was a dialogue. Some consensus was reached. Planning Commission used to talk with the people. Now, NITI Aayog has no fund allocation power. Fund allocation power is with the Ministry of Finance and Finance Commission. So, why people will go? So, this is the structural problem with NITI Aayog. So, what the economist Kelkar says that some development funds power should be given to the NITI Aayog. And what is the relationship between Finance Commission, GST Council and NITI Aayog and Interstate Council? GST Council has become an epitome of cooperative federalism rather than NITI Aayog, because there is participation and there is voting. Decisions are taken based on vote. And here is there in mechanism. Even when there was National Developmental Council, when Planning Commission era, which a governing council, we can say a bit similar to governing council, but there too decisions were taken on consensus and they were binding and voting happened. Governing council, only you talk, you think things have got better. So that's why it's because of this the NITI Aayog has limited effectiveness. In the way forward, you can write about the Kelkar, what the economist Kelkar has said, that you define a relation, give some developmental funds, the power to allocate developmental funds. At least the states can talk. If they go to Ministry of Finance, have you heard that states have met, individual chief ministers go, but there is a mechanism where states can interact, all the states, etc. So no, that is the reason why it is limited effectiveness. See, in that administrative relation question, you can also write CM conference, DGP conference, and Chief Secretary conference that can function effectively to smoothen the relations. Okay. Yes, the key lies in bringing about current affairs as well, governing council meet, etc., and linking with paper 1. One more direct question is there on cooperative federalism. Yes, question 2C. So, divergent political interest and financial constraints hinder cooperative federalism. So, political constraints we have largely discussed. You can connect with NITI Aayog. So, right in the introduction, what is cooperative federalism? Where the center and the state government and even local bodies collaborate to achieve some goals, policies, like what Prime Minister says, Team India, doing things together, Team India for Vikasit Bharat of 2047. That is cooperative federalism. But hinder the spirit of cooperative federalism. So you write then political interest. What you will write in political interest? Yes, central government may have different policies, different political ideology, state government different, center may have NPM ideology. Prime Minister talks about from red carpet to red tape, but some state government may be based on socialist principles like Kerala. So divergent political interest. Divergent political interest also you can write, elections are going on. Here central state government different party and central government says what the central government says. Double engine government. So divergent political interest. And you can write those examples as well of how reservation of bill etc. it creates problem. Take measure of the aspects of NITI Aayog, how we discussed that cooperative federalism, NITI Aayog stands for cooperative federalism, how it's become dysfunctional, there is no interaction, governing council, etc. And financial constraints, states want more funds, but center doesn't provide. One of the reason Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu boycotted is, he says that previous year's budget was unfair to Tamil Nadu. All funds were given to who? The coalition partners, Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. So, political interest also results in fiscal constraints. They intermingle. So, it affects cooperative federalism. Now, also GST Council, there is political interest. How? Announcement of GST 2.0 was done by Prime Minister first. It should have been done by GST Council. And 2.0 happened. Center wants to reduce inflation. What about, there are now 2 slabs. What about the loss of finances? There will be loss of finances, and will state be compensated for that? There is nothing about it. State, even some South Indian state have raised the issue. What about our compensation? We will be getting less money. So yes, it will be fiscal constraint again. Also GST Council, 1/3 power is, voting power is with the center, 2/3 states, and to take a decision you need 3/4, 75%. So can state take a decision on their own? And center, yes, similar ruling party come together, we take a decision. So this GST Council, financial body, indirect taxes, hampers cooperative federalism. Taxation also. Also you can also write that Finance Commission, balancing wheel, the recommendations were not accepted, and whether the states have representation in the Finance Commission, they should be having. There is no representation of the states in the Finance Commission, so it affects cooperative federalism. Later you can connect with other aspect of federalism, legislative, etc. Okay, simple question, but write NITI Aayog also in this, because NITI Aayog's mandate is cooperative federalism. Okay. So question 2 is done. A, B, C. Let's take question 3A. Again, decentralized and accountable governance. See, while the Constitution offers a strong framework for decentralized, 1, accountable governance, 2, real test wise how institutions hold Constitution values in practice. So, Constitution, so these are the various part. Don't miss on accountable as well. These are two different variables. It's saying and, decentralized and accountable. So decentralized, what are the provision in the Constitution? For decentralized governance? Yes, you can write that, but more specifically 73rd and 74th Amendment, and also 5th schedule to a certain extent. Accountable governance, which are accountability institutions in mentioned in the Constitution, Comptroller, Auditor General, and to an extent Election Commission also. These are only two accountability institutions, the rest are more of not mentioned in the Constitution, CBC, CIC, etc. So right, Constitutional offers a, Indian Constitution is a modern constitutional, seeks to promote good governance by way of decentralized and accountable governance. So decentralized governance provisions made in the Constitution are the 73rd and the 74th Amendment Act, which seeks to take the democracy to at the doors of the people. Right, if you have space about some aspects of 73rd Amendment, Gram Sabha, the community participation, parliament at village level, or even ward sabhas, ward committees in the urban areas. Accountable governance, to ensure accountability, there are institutions like CAG, etc. Even judiciary to a certain extent is an accountability institution. But despite having such so many provisions, the in the Constitution for decentralized and accountable governance, there has been a centralizing tendency, like the misuse of emergency in India, emergency provisions. Even the judiciary also, you can write the ADM Jabalpur case, the classic case. Then how now CAG was very active in UPA too. Now where is CAG? Yes. So in a way, the Constitution itself cannot ensure accountable and good governance unless there is constitutionalism and participative political culture. On the whole, there should be existence of constitutional morality. which ensures that to what extent the provision of the Constitution are followed according to the constitutional values of justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, rule of law. Yes, it talks about constitutional values. So in this regard, the role of civil society, people, etc. plays an important role. So you write some examples when civil society people played a very vital role, such as examples. MKSS led to opening of the other bottom up accountability, RTI. When you write citizen charter, etc., Jans Noise. But at the same time, it also ensured that there is accountability governance from the constitutional institutions, PIL, the various cases, right? Then ADR case, how ADR case in the Supreme Court led to the squashing of electoral bonds, because it was in a way Supreme Court remark promoting black money in the political system. So it happened because of who? Civil society. And institutions also suo motu take action. Judicial activism is role of institution in promoting accountability and decentralized governance. Then you can also write with some well-functioning gram panchayat, etc., how civil society plays a role in ensuring social audit and all that etc. You can write. Yes, this way you can write this.
This particular question looks like a GS question.
Yes.
While attempting this answer, how different should
Good governance, connect with good governance. Deliberative democracy of Mary Parker Follett. Theory why? That you can write. Yes, that is a very much trappy question. If you write GS2, UPSC doesn't give marks. That is for sure.
how do I make it different from my approach on GS?
Yes, I told you, connect with deliberative democracy of when this role of these institutions come to the fore, there will be deliberative democracy, bottom-up democracy. That is what Mary Parker Follett was talking about. She was against representative democracy. She talks about deliberative democracy. Also, further, the institutions should be strengthened, which are at the dialogue, etc., the interstate council. What about the dialogue from the local bodies? There is no provision for that. So that way you can write this question. Mention cases also, institution also, and practices, civil society. Yes, a good article had come in the Hindu. How now the RT Act has been weakened, the DPDP Act, etc. Because of that. And he said, the writer says, when RTI came because of the civil society movement, and now it has been weakened, where is the civil society movement? So that's why this institution, etc., plays a very vital role in ensuring protection of constitutional values, constitutional and political culture. That also you can write. Yes, it seems easy. Many people missed on this accountable governance. They consider it's only one word, decentralized and accountable. They are two different words. It's and. It's not bread and butter. Bread and butter is one word they commonly use. Do we use decentralization, accountable in one sentence or one word? They're different. Prelims and mains, you have cleared prelims and mains. Prelims and mains are different examination. So you have to break this. That is judiciary, etc. angle you have to open up. So it's important to read the question properly and break the questions. Yes, question 3B, PSUs. Very simple question, not much problem should be there in question 3B. LPG liberalization has forced public enterprises to enhance efficiency, but effects of these reforms have been a topic of debate. Simple question, but challenge lies in writing enriched content so that you are able to differentiate between others. Of course, those factors you should keep in mind, linking, etc. So, liberalization, PSUs, efficiency has been topic of debate. Basically, what the question is asking, whether PSUs have become efficient in light of LPG. That is basically the demand. So, what you write in the introduction? Write some impactful introduction. The PSUs in India were conceptualized to take India to a commanding heights. They were functioning on the basis of the Nehruvian model till the LPG era. After LPG, with LPG came the philosophy of what? New public management. It talks about hands-on management, giving autonomy. So PSUs were what? Privatized, disinvestment happened. Disinvestment giving arm's length principle. Memorandum of understanding was signed. What is MOU? It is basically you sign, you give some goals are decided, you achieve those goals, we'll give you autonomy. That is what is MPM. Letting managers manage, making managers manage. Arm length principle, and they were sought to achieve efficiency. So you write then, it's a matter of debate. So write some positive aspects first, where PSUs achieved efficiency. Which sectors PSU are successful? Huh? Yes, oil and gas has been highly efficient in our country. The vast network in all parts of the nation, rural areas, urban areas, and no private player has able to come. BPCL, HPCL, IOCL, and IOCL this year reported the highest revenue, and BPCL reported its highest profit. So they are also been highly efficient, not just functioning, have been highly efficient even in the defense sector. Defense sector also, the defense minister said that we are procuring 60% of our defense equipments which are manufactured indigenously. Indian Ordnance Factory Board has laid down the base for defense startups. So they have been working very efficiently. But of course, then if they are working so efficiently, why there is so much disinvestment? Why opposition is crying? This government has not created a single PSU. So yes, you can write then. Though some PSUs have been functioning well, but where these private sectors have grown this much and PSUs have grown this much, there is the growth of private sector has been tremendous in India. They are more efficient than the public sector. So you can write then Air India. Government had to disinvestment because of inefficiency in Air India. Then many, I say Hindustan Machine Tools, HMT, that too got close because being highly inefficient. But don't stop there. Do PSUs or India conceptualize only for efficiency? For socialist, social perspective and for welfare as well. So it is wrong for PSU's performance to be measured based on efficiency because they had welfaristic nature. PSUs were open at geographical difficult areas or not backward areas for balanced regional development in the eastern states. So can you measure PSU from efficiency perspective only? They have to balance social objectives with profit motive efficiency of private sector, 3 E's of NPM. It is wrong to measure only from efficiency perspective. Also, it's not because of the inherent functioning of PSUs. There has been, government gives autonomy, but Rungta panel says it's over regulation. PSU has to be accountable to who? CAG, CVC, CBI, Supreme Court, the requisite ministries. There is no arm length principle is there in written, but in practice Ministries interfere a lot. So if you want to measure them from efficiency perspective, you should give them that much autonomy also. BSNL story. BSNL, MTNL had a very vast network in our country before private telecom came. BSNL recently said that we will be rolling out 5G in 2025, and they are still not completely rolled out 4G in our country. And you compare that with Jio and Airtel. BSNL had not built Jio for 10 years for equipment sharing. Why they did not build? Ministerial interference. And why they are rolling now 5G? In 2022, there were some issues with China 2020. So ministry's guidelines were, don't use Chinese equipment. All those towers etc. were of Huawei and Xiaomi, I guess. And then they said you use Indian manufacturers were not there. So you manufacture first, then now they are using Indian equipment. So is it because of efficiency? So these aspects are there, so that aspects you should also write. It's wrong to measure PSUs from efficiency perspective. And yes, you can write recommendation of Rungta panel single holding structure. It talks about that there should be single holding, not all ministries should be controlling PSU, one single holding structure, Prime Minister heading that and give them autonomy. That way, principles of prioritization. Even PSUs have in the globally also have been highly efficient. Fly Emirates. You check Fly Emirates and one side you see Air India. Then Aramco, Saudi Aramco, such a big oil giant, and you compare that with ONGC. Chinese PSU contribute 30% to their GDP even today, and China even today has 5-year plans. And see their economy and our economy. Also, even developed countries have PSU. In Norway, there is Equinor, which is a oil and gas giant. So PSUs are relevant. You give them autonomy, etc., expertise, leadership in PSUs. How many of people prepare for Indian engineering services now? Very few. But there is no leadership. Even people who work in the PSU consider a PSU as a launching pad to man good positions in the private sector. They work for 5-6 years and then migrate to the private sector. So no leadership. There should be leadership, patriotism in PSUs. Then PSUs can contribute more than the private sector in not only terms of efficiency but also social justice. So that way you have to write, lot of things can be written. Good question, traditional question. 3C is done. Yes, question 4, very difficult question to write. You should not be ideally attempting this question 4A. Question 3. The good thing about the UPSC now changing trend of public administration is that they're making 2-3 questions so difficult that you obviously know you do not have to append. Previously, questions all were doable. Then there was confusion, which question to attempt, which question to select. People get confused, spend 10-15 minutes in choosing the question. That is different set of challenge. So yes, obviously you should not be attempting difficult question, but things were in use. You can say that regarding this. Experience suggests various states suggest that reorganization of districts prompted more by politico-populist convenience than ease of administration. Reorganization of district, administrative efficiency less, rather not cross. say the political code. Okay, this is the question, reorganization of districts, not state. So how reorganization of district happens? It is the power of the state government. They either can pass a law or may pass a, you can see a executive order. Reorganization of district. Reorganization of district can happen by how many means? First, combine two or more district, you make one district, or you break a big district into smaller districts, or you acquire district from other states. Like there is constant conflict going on or tensions going on between Maharashtra Karnataka regarding Belgavi. They say it belongs to Maharashtra. They say it will remain in Karnataka. So these are the three ways reorganization of district happens. Is through executive order by the state government, or you pass a law in the state assembly. Two ways you can reorganize. Center has no role to play with respect to reorganization of district. See,
district from others.
no, then there will be from the center role will come. So that way the question is asking, so you can start, district is the lowest unit of governance, where is the lowest area unit of governance, where there is more intimate connect between people and the administration. Is the first functional area of interaction with the people. In a way, it takes administration towards the people, near to the people. The officer, it is headed by the district administration, the district collector. So the reorganization of district should be done on administrative lines, taking into mind the geography, the population, the demographic profile of the district, tribal district, etc. They have made a different tribal district, like Palghar in Maharashtra was made in 2014, a tribal district for focused development for the tribal areas, and things got improved also. Yes. So to increase efficiency, etc., districts have been carved out for administrative convenience, bringing as a larger district becomes, that is more population increases, the hierarchy becomes very tall. It becomes a Weberian hierarchy, big Weberian hierarchy, and it results in Parkinson view, Peter principle, that highly populous district. Suppose 1 crore population of 24 Parganas in West Bengal. So much of staff for district administration will require, and 1-2 SDM won't be sufficient. More SDM, more BDO. So see the hierarchy then. So many number of people. And what then Parkinson and Peter principle says, that they create more position to accommodate more people and to climb up the hierarchy. So administration becomes far from the people. So there is this should be the economic, the administrative rationale to create smaller district, better governance, better policing, better administration, etc. You write. Then it has been a topic of debate. Why it has been a topic of debate? Because this has been created on political and populist lines. Rajasthan, this was in news when the Ashok Gehlot government was in power. On the brink of election, the chief minister announced creation of 17 new districts and 3 more in the pipeline, taking the total number of districts to 50 plus 3. New government came and they annulled this. They annulled the 9 districts. They were saying it's all populist, funds were not even made available to create the necessary infrastructure for the district administration. You have to create a new entire structure, building, etc. More people. 500-600 crores will require for one district and so many districts. So they annulled it. Then they say it was all politically motivated, and then the other side said that you cancel district. Okay, one district was cancelled, which had the largest distance was 135 kilometers to the district headquarters. Some Deg district they cancelled. Despite of this, so much of distance from one end to other end of the district headquarters 138 kilometers, still you cancelled. And one district you did not cancel had a distance of maximum of 35 kilometers, and that you did not cancel. So political populist. And even in Punjab, a district was announced to appease one particular community, Malarkota something in Punjab, to appease one community. Then you win that election, win the all the assembly segments in that district. So that is the political populist. When even whenever new government comes, they reorganize district. At least then you can win the local government elections. That way you organize, you separate committees, you know which will not vote for you and who will vote for you. Create a district then. Local bodies are controlled and the delimitation is done by the State Election Commission. So that is with the state government. So that way it's all political populist. Now Andhra Pradesh also, undivided Andhra Pradesh had 23 districts. And divided Andhra Pradesh has 26 districts. And now the new chief minister has formed a government GM, the group of ministers to review this meeting, review this number of districts. So again, you will cancel those districts. Similarly, many examples are there. Even yes, in Madhya Pradesh, new districts were announced. Now there too, the chief minister now, despite being from the same political party, has set up a committee to review these districts. And in Andhra Pradesh also there was a protest. You divided district, you merge those districts again. So it's all political populist. And many districts are as large as some states. Ladakh district or Leh district is larger than some of the states. And population wise also, what is the criteria? One district in Arunachal Pradesh, Dihang Valley, has a population of 8,000 only, and there is a district. And and the highest populated district in West Bengal, 24 Parganas, has a population of 1 crore. So 1 crore here and 8,000 there. What the district administration will do of 8,000 people? In metropolitan cities, in Delhi also you can see one police station must be having more than 8,000 people under them. So district collector 8,000 here. So what is the criteria? It's all political populist. So shouldn't there be a criteria? Yes, NITI Aayog can formulate some criteria state-wise, keeping in mind geography, the demography, etc. That can be a broad categorization where state can refer. NITI Aayog cannot impose, we know it's a think tank, but some broad criteria can be made. This for this state, this can be criteria. And why to create district on the brink of election only? When you win election, create that so that it gets stabilized. On the brink of election, you create new district to appease the committee for voting. Then if you don't come to power, the next government comes and abolishes those districts. So that way some criteria should be there, etc. And politico-populist, people demand new district. Also creation of state leads to new district. In 2012 we had around 500 districts, 500 or 600 districts. Now we have around 800 districts. One can also see that districts should be created, keeping in mind the constituencies. One constituency for the member of parliament, that should be a district. So delimitation commission in 2026, when it is planned, new parliament, number of seats will be increased. So that can be one criteria. And why to and you create district using the assembly route, so that opposition too is taking the confidence, not the executive resolution. So yes, in Punjab also I read a few days back, there is plan to create 2 more or 3 more districts again. And local election happens, local elections are there, you create district, make those constituency to according to you, according what will suit your candidate at the local level. Local leaders also say create a district so that we become powerful in that district. There are local bodies, cadre, local parties, cadre, etc. So these are the aspects you can write. Yes, it's not recommended to write this question, but it was in news. Rajasthan thing was in news a lot. There were protests also many going on. Hindu things had come on this. But it's better to skip this question. Okay. Yes, traditional question. Okay. Lack of clear demarcation of roles between state secretariat and directorate has a serious implication for policy making and implementation. It's summary. So, hope you know what is secretariat and directorate, or should I explain? See, secretariat, ministry departments are there. They need people to help them. Think tank, bureaucracy is the largest think tank to government of India. So there is central secretariat, state secretariat, even every minister, politically it is headed by the minister, and secretary heads is administratively. So summation of that secretarial office is called as a secretary. Directorate is more for policy supervision and more for implementation. This is for policy making. This is for, you can say, monitoring also, and subordinate offices. There are two types of directorate: attached offices and subordinate offices. Attached offices, they do supervision, monitoring, etc. of the subordinate offices. Subordinate offices are basically implementing, implementing policies into reality. That is the subordinate offices. So sometimes minister and they directly give orders to the attached office as well, bypassing the secretariat. Okay, clear now? At all ministries and departments do not have attached offices. They attach means attached to the ministry. So suppose CISF is an attached office of the Home Ministry. That way, PUSA is the attached office for Agriculture Ministry. That is. So some attached offices are in field, some are situated in the ministry secretariat itself. That is, attached office and subordinate office are the two types of directorates, and this is secretariat. Basically, it is headed by the director, so it's called a directorate. It is responsible for providing technical inputs, data, etc. to the secretariat. It's headed by the specialist, and it is headed by the generalist. So ideally, you can write in the introduction, secretariat and directorate represents the land and staff as outlined by who? Gulick, classical theorist, talks about land and staff. It also, you can rate it's a division of work. Ideally, secretariat is responsible for policy making and directorate for implementation. In India, we adopt a tenure system. What is a tenure system? That people work in the secretariat are also put in deputation to the field, and these are also become part of the secretariat. Transfer, etc. happens. And split system is totally distinct. Politics, administration, dichotomy. So split system means people will remain here only, policy making. Those people, they won't be transferred to the field. That is split system, but we follow tenure system, which was introduced by Lord Curzon in India. So if it is totally distinct policy making and implementation, so what are the problems then? Question is saying lack of clear demarcation. The demarcation is there, policy making you do secretariat and implementation directorate, but things do not work that way. Secretariat is known for sucking up all the power of the directorate, because secretariat has to keep the minister happy, and minister has to answer many questions in the parliament regarding the functioning of the policy. So they also keep an eye on implementation, which is the work of the directorate. So there is expansion of secretariat. There too there is Peter principle, Parkinson view. No one wants to work at the directorate because at field level things are harsh. This pressure from the top also and from bottom also, and these remain close to the ministry, so they influence minister more rather than directorate. So there is split on paper but not in practice. There is excessive interference by the secretariat and the ministry on the field level. The ministry is here directly interacting with attached offices, bypassing the directorate. Then again split. You are directly interacting with policy implementation. So where is the clear role? What should be the interaction? Ideally, it is technical, headed by technical person. It provides data to this, but in reality, they do not report directly to the head of the secretariat. They are reporting to lower officers. He is a suppose Group A officer, and they are reporting to Group C, Group D. Such a tall hierarchy. Then that person will talk to the secretary. So here split again. What should be the relation here now? So that is what the question talks about. All this. And also there is tenure system, that you should go here and the directorate people should work at the secretariat. But how many have a specialist as secretary? It's headed by generalist only. That's why ARC2 etc. talks about there should be given a joint secretary status to the head of the directorate. Some states have given, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, they have good practices. And also see how they also skip this tenure system. State secretariat, an IAS officer is working in the state secretariat. So time has come to go to the directorate, to the field level. So what the people will do? Deputation to the central government, work there in that secretariat, and when government changes, come back. So yes, there is different roles, but not followed. So what? So, and also because of this, the state level secretariat also say that all India services should be abolished, and this directorate is headed by most of the state services people. Growth is hampered, they do not get chance to work in the secretariat. So there is a disconnect between policy implementation and policy making. So, and results in policy failure. Example, one of the biggest policy failure in a country. Demonetization. Constantly, how many times the Ministry of Finance was directly changing the policies, and that is keeping an eye on implementation, resulting in policy failure. So that's why there is a ARC2 talks about the tenure system should be continued, because there can't be total separation. Policy making and policy implementation are cyclical processes in the policy cycle. So there should be autonomy given on the lines of agentification. That is, you sign an MOU, directorate sign an MOU, and you implement that. That is NPM. Also, it talks about that principle of subsidiarity. Interaction should be based on principle of subsidiarity. Directorate should be given a status of joint secretary. Should also talk with the minister. But what happened? Directorate also then goes to the secretariat. They also don't go to the field. The head of the director. See, directorate is for supervision of the subordinate offices, monitoring. So they also don't go to field then, subordinate offices. So it connects a total disconnect and resulting in total policy failure. This is how you should write. Lack of clear demarcation. So you should not agree with there is a lack of clear demarcation. The other aspects you should write. Question 4C. Decentralized planning in India signifies a shift towards context-sensitive development. But inadequate resources and local politics complicate the realization of social justice goals. Decentralized planning. context sensitive. But adequate resources, local politics, and social justice goals. So this is what is the demand of the question. It is saying decentralized planning promotes context sensitive. So this can be an introduction. So what is decentralized planning? What are the provisions? There must be some DPC, MPC, district planning committees, and metropolitan committees. So this is what the question talks about. That is decentralized planning. Article 243 ZD and ZE, DPC, MPC. So much content to write, and the question is 10 marks. So you can start with historical aspect, or you can start with the directly addressing the question. So like the India had a centralized planning system by way of the planning commission, though in the planning commission era itself 73rd Fourth Amendment seek to provide decentralized planning and made a provision for metropolitan committees and district planning committees are the article 243 ZD and ZE. Then you can write something about DPC, MPC. Four-fifth should be elected, 1/5 should be nominated, and here 2/3 and 1/3 to create a consolidated plan for the district. It seeks to provide context sensitive means what? First there was centralized planning, one plan, etc. But India is very diverse country, geographically diverse, demographically diverse. So need to take into consideration the context and plan accordingly. So DPC, MPC seeks to provide context specific planning, like taking into consider the ecology as outlined by RICS. Consider the ecology and you plan accordingly. So DPC, MPC. Then in local politics, how local politics have? So inadequate resources, you write that only 3Fs, etc. How state finance commission, etc. do not provide resources. How centers states are dependent on the state. The except now GST, etc. has taken the powers of taxation of lower levels also. There were local tax, octroi, etc. So they have to depend from the central and the state for the taxes. And state planning commission doesn't make any provision for specifically for planning. Does it make? Or does even central finance commission makes? It has some it makes some outlay for the local bodies, but does it make for planning? So if no resources, how you will incorporate or hire experts? Planning is a very technical thing. So there should be expertise also. Experts are there in NITI Aayog. So many specialists are there. We are at local level. So because of inadequate resources, this is happening. Now politics, how local politics does. Yes, second ARC has talked about a lot about this. How local politics hinders planning. Yes, tell local politics how it hinders. you can write that aspects local government are in especially metro cities are source of revenue. So there may be a different government in power at the local level, different government at the central level, at the state level. So the central government wants to control local bodies. There is also provision. 1/3 are nominated members, of which they can also become the chairman. It must be having. Act doesn't say that only elected people can become chairman. So these people can also become chairman. And in MPC, there is a provision, even central minister can be a member of MPC. If central minister is a member, obviously he will be chairman also. So if central government different party, local government different party, then problem. So the year 2, 1/5 are nominated. Year 2 in district, MPs, MLAs are members of DPC and they become the chairman. And if ideology etc. is different, they don't allow it to function only. And what plan etc. they will create. Also, only half of the states have constituted district planning committees in India. Even in Kolkata Municipal Corporation, the chief minister was heading the Metropolitan Planning Committee, so that the central government, state government controls the local bodies because they are source of revenue. And also how local politics, the state want to control the, suppose city of Mumbai, the highest budget it has in the country, local body higher than most of the states, and state want to control. So how they will control? They create more planning authorities. So it loses its relevance. Mumbai has 16 planning authorities along with Metropolitan Committee. Every department of the state has a planning authority which plans for Mumbai. Slums, you have some government, some central ministry also, Ministry of Urban Development, they too have a role. State government also has a role. So where is the autonomy etc. for the MPC to function? They become totally dysfunctional. For this to happen, there should be local body should have elected representatives. City of Mumbai does not have a local representative since 2022. It has been run by administrators. No elections have been happened since 2022. So how this will function? The local politics and resources, from where resources? It will run by administrators. Power is there, but no accountability. Even the CM of Maharashtra recently said that all local bodies should be headed by IS officers because there is corruption at the local bodies. So what about that democratic decentralization and grassroots democracy, bottom-up democracy? So it affects social justice goals. The local bodies play a role in planning etc. of many schemes are happen at local level. MG Narega, local bodies have a role. Swachh Bharat Mission, social audit etc. in MG Narega. They have allocation of funds to identification of beneficiary. Planning is not there for the entire district. What will happen? Also, local bodies, there are too much plans in, say, a district may have a developed area as well, a town existing along with some villages. So more funds will be allocated to the towns. What about the social justice goals of the rural areas? Or there must be a region where metropolitan area may cover number of districts. Delhi NCR. So Delhi one district, then we have Gurgaon, Noida, etc. Everyone having different metropolitan committee. So lack of any coordination etc. There should be one region, one metropolitan committee. That is what also second ARC talks about. And this way it hampers the social justice goals. In cities you can write the slums etc. What about the social justice of them? And it is headed by nominated people. So the role of the 74 amendment was also to promote women etc. It has reservation for SC, STs. So why they are not becoming the chairman? That way affecting the social justice goals of 73rd and 74 amendment as well. So this is where you can write. And also if you want to open up, though there must be no space, that for this to happen, many things are there to write on this. See, NITI Aayog, DPC, MPC, suppose DPC, village plan and state planning boards. So what is the link between this? Is there a link? Village level village plans are created that will be incorporated in DPC and they should be incorporated by the state planning boards. How many states have state planning boards? And NITI Aayog has broken planning into silos. What is the connect between planning? At least there was 5-year plans, there was a connect at local level, etc. Some aspects at least were taken into consideration. NITI Aayog doesn't plan now, it does more or less indicative planning. So yes, this link is also missing. And village level plans, though government has, what is that scheme? Some scheme is there. Yes, Gram Manchitra app is there for spatial planning at a village level, but plans are mostly in the district and the village level are aggregation of data, aggregation of beneficiaries rather than having actual plans, which will which will incorporate how resources should be prioritized, how resources should be used, who should be the beneficiary, perspective planning, long-term planning, strategic planning, those aspects should be taken into consideration. But this is all hindered because of lack of resources and local politics. So yes, this way you should write. Most of the years this planning question comes for 10 marks only. Connect, check past year papers, DPC, etc. 10 marks. Content is a lot to there to write, but 10 marks they will ask. Okay, all optional questions are done of section A. Let's move to the compulsory questions. Question 1A. See, a very simple question, very direct question. Artha Shastra of Kautilya is a source of livelihood. Science of economics of livelihood and of the people. Comment. So write a very simple question, not much challenge must be to write. Arthashastra. What is Arthashastra? Meaning of Arthashastra itself is a science of economics and livelihood. It's a statecraft, but also a science of livelihood and economics, where Kautilya talks about. First, you write about welfare, livelihood of the people. There should be welfaristic nature of the state, where Kautilya says the duty of the king is yoga schema, that is welfare of the people. Happiness of the king lies in the happiness of its subject. Subjects are unhappy, there are livelihood is not there, so king will be unhappy. So that is science of livelihood. Then it talks about how the kosha is the most important limb of the Saptanga theory. Kosha is more important than danda, that is the treasury. And he says that whatever should be acquired should be legitimately acquired, and you should have a janpada that is fertile, and people will pay taxes. Without livelihood, etc., how taxes will be paid? He says that there are 3 major livelihoods for the people. One is agriculture, trade, and one more he says cattle tending, cattle, etc. That is the livelihood, and that is also the main source of revenue. And further he talks about that the big fish should not eat small fish. That is, big fish should not take the livelihood of the small fish. So that's why there should not be monopoly. Even in India today, corporate sector, there should be institutional pluralism, public choice approach. So this is all it on livelihood, and then yes, palna, labha, etc. You write. Yes, yes, you can connect with GST 2.0 also. GST, many slabs were there. People were, livelihood was not proper, inflation, etc. Many slabs. Then GST 2.0 ease the livelihood, happiness of the king lies in the happiness of the subject. So that way you connect with paper 1 also. This is also, then also foreign policy you can write that foreign policy, then trade mandala theory, that how trade is also important source of revenue. Then yes, you can, if you implicitly you can connect with the trade wars, etc. That way you write, many dimensions can be opened up. A simple question to write, but also give emphasis is the theory of statecraft also, how statecraft and livelihood are interlinked. Then only there will be good governance. If there is livelihood, etc. For livelihood and economics, there should be good governance. When he talks about Yoga Shima, that is good governance will result in livelihood and livelihood of the people and science of economics. Simple question. Every year they manufacture some different way to ask the same thing of Kautilya. Yes, but Kautilya you should connect with, show its relevance in today's context. Question 1B is done. Yes, simple questions. Same question had come in GS2 last year. Constitutional and judicial interventions. Yes, how will connect with public administration? That is the challenge. Not writing your words. Constitutional provisions. Judicial interventions. What are the constitutional provisions? Article 14, equality before law, Article 15, then 16, equal opportunity in public employment, then write some current affairs also. Nari Shakti Bill amendment was brought in 331A, which article? So that will provide one third reservation for the woman. So how, which? 73, 74, one third reservation for women there. These are the constitutional provision. Promote gender equality. You can interpret gender equality from wider aspect as well, transgenders, etc. Navtej Singh Johar case, you write judicial interpretation, Navtej Singh Johar, then Shaira Bano, Shah Bano, then that Babita Punya case, permanent commission to women in the short commission, now permanent commission to women. Then yes, that cases you write. Then Vishaka guidelines, etc. Many can be written. It seeks to promote gender equality. Then is the real challenge. You are writing in public administration. How you link? Feminist perspective in public administration. Gender equality is important to ensure gender perspective in public administration, which were outlined by implicitly by Mary Parker Follett when she talks about power with over power over, or feminist thinkers in public administration, Camilla Stivers, Martha Nasubam. They talks about if there is no gender equality, how people will come in public services? Only one third of the number of women clearing civil services ranges from 1/4 to 1/3, and women are half the population. So then the glass ceiling, etc. exists. How many women have become DGP, cabinet secretary? Not even one woman has become cabinet secretary till now. There is one principal secretary was there. She was what is her name? She was a principal secretary to Rajiv Gandhi, Sarla Grewal. How many DGP are women? Maharashtra has women DGP now. Very few. How many women police commissioner? So if there is no gender equality, how there will be gender perspective in public administration? It is a stepping stone to ensure gender perspective. Or no, yes, many things can be written, but 10 mark, yes, Harvard Business Review study was conducted. They found that when women are at the leadership position, women are promote transformational leadership. We have administrative behavior chapter. It talks about transformational leadership. How women promote transformational leadership. That organization can survive for many centuries with transformational leader. Men want power. They want hierarchy. They want control. Women are more emotional, so they will promote participation. They will promote interactive influence system, transactional influence. So it will promote teamwork, integration of organizational goal with individual goals, women and leadership position. So that way it is Harvard Business Review. That way it showed the relevance of women in bringing transformational change in any organization or any country. Transformational leadership. It had come implicitly this year also, transformational leadership in paper 1. That way you can write also that also, but you may not be having much space, but do mention the feminist perspective or gender perspective in public administration will be an outcome of ensuring gender equality. Okay. Yes, in contemporary times. Contemporary times. Should prioritize. You have to write contemporary times. So contemporary times can be an introduction, right? What is happening in contemporary times? Why there is need for teamwork, not hierarchical, prioritize teamwork. Yes, technical one aspect. Now nature of disasters are changing. Health disaster, other disasters are coming. COVID-19 is one big health disaster, meeting the sustainable development goals, technology, AI, Internet of Things, blockchain, etc., cyber crimes, etc. So in contemporary times are filled with number of challenges. So the Weberian hierarchy, on which the traditional district administration rests, may not be an efficient way to deal with these challenges. Because of all this, so Weberian hierarchy means a very slow hierarchy. We will interact only vertically. What about horizontal interaction? In the district level, there are also other field agencies, technical agencies of engineering, irrigation, etc. So there should be interaction with them also. That is, a teamwork should be promoted. Also with civil society. Then the hierarchy won't be of much use. Rather, a matrix organization of Chris Argyris or an interactive influence system of Likert, that will be more helpful in promoting ideas, etc. Then will be innovation will change. That is an open system, not a closed system. Open system for bureaucracy to remain relevant. What the closed system is unhelpful. That's why there is system theory, etc. It talks about you should be having a sync with the environment. Classical theories talks about closed system. So hierarchy is a closed system. That way then it will be teamwork, etc. You will be able to solve the problems more efficiently. Even ARC2 talks about there should be district council and district collector should be a CEO. And you can write example how teamwork was promoted. That Andhra Pradesh collector Venkatesh Prasanna won the Civil Services Award of Illuru district. So for tackling anemia, etc. There was a teamwork. He designed nutritional kits with the help of the university which was there and church, etc. He took help of the church. It was a tribal district to convince the tribals to have this nutritious food. So anemia, etc. level came down and he won the Civil Services Award also for that. So teamwork, not hierarchy. If hierarchy was there, civil society won't have interacted with him. How ideas will flow, how innovation will come. That is the relevance of teamwork rather than over hierarchical structures. So this way you should write. A simple question, this again. Headquarter field level organization, you have to show its significance in Swachh Bharat Mission and MG Narega. So write something about Narega, etc. The Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and Narega and Swachh Swachh Bharat Mission seeks to achieve the social justice goals and also sustainable development goals as well. So local significance, MG Narega, you write briefly MG Narega, employment, etc. But local institution plays a very vital role, such as Gram Panchayat, identification of beneficiaries, and the social audit is also conducted at local level by the local bodies. So without field level organization, how this can be successful? The Swachh Bharat Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission, open defecation free, clean, ODF++, which requires attitudinal change as well. Behavioral change was a component of Swachh Bharat Mission. So local interaction, field level organization only will interact with them. So field level organization, not just the collector office or the government agency, but also civil society, etc. They should also interact. So there should be network governance at the field level. If there is again hierarchy, etc., this won't be possible. So network governance, new public governance model is there, then there will be highly significant then in achieving the goals of SBM and MG Narega. But even without empowering local bodies, still field level organization may not achieve the requisite success. How? There is all digital aspects are there even in Narega. Photo you have to take up with the people who are coming to work to Narega. There is roster is also digitized, roles. Even there was a case study in ethics paper about the MG Narega, how the corruption is happening. That actually happened, and it was a real case study which came, and it was in news also. Then the Rural Development Ministry released the guidelines. What people were doing, they were taking photographs from the passport photo and misappropriation of funds. You have to take photo when you come to work and go while coming to work. They were taking only for coming to work, not exiting work. Also different photos were used. So that was the problem with MG Narega even in digital India. And this similar case study had come in this year's ethics paper. So what they said that the ministry guideline was you scrutinize all the entries, 100% at district level, then I guess 30% at state level and 10% at the central level. So much scrutiny without local level institutes, is it possible? In district, so many people must be taking those MG Narega jobs. That's why significant of the field level organization. So not top down won't work. Bottom up governance is required. Swachh Bharat Mission, you can write how Swachh Bharat 2.0, that solid waste ODF++, those goals have been found unsatisfactory. Solid waste management, etc., and improving access to toilets, continued use of toilets. Toilets are built, they're using, but will they use after 5 years? So that's why the relevance of the field level organization, etc. you should write. A simple question to write, not much difficult. So all questions are done of section A. So anything remaining? Section B. The smart thing to do in section B is attempt question 7 or question 8. See, so many technical questions they have asked. They have asked GEM, GPR, AI in disaster management, CP grams, and so smart policing, no cyber awareness, full of all technical aspect, technocrats. We'll take Aadhaar first. Interesting. Put on fan mode. No, this AC on fan mode. Okay. Here, go and ask him if you are not able to. So, do you think Aadhaar initiative have improved inclusive governance and administrative credibility? Yes, very difficult question to write in public administration. 20 marks. That too, you have to make sure you are writing public administration. So, start with Aadhaar. Aadhaar is provides a unique identity to the to the people by way of 12 digit, taking minimum inputs from there. What you take, uh, yes, fingerprints, biometrics, and place of birth, name, etc. It seeks to promote e-governance and digital governance. So many schemes, etc., have been linked to Aadhaar, like to promote social justice. You can write those schemes. Pahel, Jam Trinity, Pahel, then even farmers, which is that scheme with 6,000 rupees per year. That farmer scheme is there, DBT, etc., are linked to Aadhaar. So, in a way, it seeks to promote inclusive governance and administrative credibility. So, inclusive governance. Inclusive governance, how it seeks to promote inclusive governance? Aadhaar. Yes, removing the middleman, taking the governance directly to the people. Now, before 100 rupees were transferred by the central government, how many does they used to get? 15 paisa. And now you transfer 100 rupees, you get 100 rupees. Inclusive governance, taking governance to the people. Aadhaar animal payment system. If you want to take withdraw the funds which are transferred by the government, you did not go to the bank. The bank will come to you with that Aadhaar enabled payment system. You do verify and payment is given to you. So inclusive governance. Did not go to district administration, waste full day, payment will come. That is inclusive governance. So identification of beneficiaries, etc. So in a way, this way it promotes inclusive governance. You can take one scheme and write about it. Jam Trinity, etc. How many, so many banks accounts have been created, etc. Administrative credibility. What do you write about administrative credibility? So it improves the trust in the administration. They must be the beneficiaries must be feeling that in the news we read so many funds have been allocated and in reality we are not getting. So it because there is lack of administration, corruption in the administration. So it improves administration credibility also. It promotes trust, that is social building of social capital, one of the goals of good governance. So that way it promotes administrative credibility as well. No need to go to the district administration time and again. Schemes are directly implemented through this. So now then write some impactful content. Paul Romer, a Nobel laureate, said Aadhaar is one of the most radical innovation in the entire world. It has plugged leakages worth it has removed 4 crore fake beneficiaries from DBT, 5 crore from 5 crore fake ration card holders. That with it also improves the ease of governance, that a migrant can take its quota of grains under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, any part of the state. One nation, one ration card scheme. Also, it has been found that 50% of the beneficiaries feel that public service delivery has improved because of Aadhaar. So that impactful content you can write. difficult question to write. You shouldn't be attempting this. Paul Romer, Paulromer. Let's see, we have some data. See this. This is the see this much of elimination of fake beneficiaries because of Aadhaar. See, Ministry of Natural Gas, 4 crore duplicate non-LPG connections in addition to non-LPG. See, Department of Food, 5 crore duplicate non-ration cards have been removed because of Aadhaar linkages. You can see so much of data is available at PIB. DBT, detailed direct benefit transfer. Total this much of transfer happened because of Aadhaar linkage, Jam Trinity, PDS 800 billion rupees. So much of MG Narega taking direct, so 100 rupees is reaching 100 rupees directly to the beneficiaries. Okay, we have opened this, we'll discuss a similar question. Smart policing and community policing has been initiated to address the socio-technological challenges of law and order. So now, what are the social technological challenges of law and order? Huh? Social, it is saying social technological challenges of law and order, not social technological challenges of administrators. So governance has gone digital. It has thrown many new technical challenges, cyber attacks, digital arrest, new challenges to law and order, and also then fake news are peddled on social media, resulted in social problems, riots, etc. Mob lynching happens, that you write something on social media, then things happen, it goes viral, and social fabric is hampered. The social technological challenges, this is technology revolution is throwing, industrial revolution 4.0. The new types of scams are coming online. So how this can be dealt with? Smart policing and community policing. What is smart policing? Use of ICT tools, data, etc. to police. Prime Minister also gave an acronym to smart policing. What is S stands for? Strict and sensitive. M, modern and mobile. R, reliable and responsive. A, accountable and what is that? Accountable and one more, active. And T is trained and tech savvy. That is smart policing. So use of ICT tools, etc. for smart policing, such as you can write how Delhi police uses CCTVs for facial recognition, and even Bureau of Public Research, Police Research and Development also conducts training for cyber awareness and better cyber policing. CY train, some app is there for police. That way cyber policing, etc. technology has been used, and even social media governance, where you report crime on social media and police take action. So law order challenges, different law and order challenges are happening. So see this see this here, delivery without riding helmet, take action, and police issues a challenge. Chalan here. So that is what social technology, new technological challenge. You leverage technical tools and use this. Delhi police doesn't. They say that you report on the app. Chandigarh police also does. They can raise challan here. This is what technological, tech-oriented policing. Use of data, data for better policing, etc. You use you mine the data, analyze the data of crime, etc., and then you can predict crime. That this big data of all the crime, etc., you analyze, then the certain pattern will come that can be used for crime detection and prevention also. Then community policing, you write community policing is based on the philosophy of what? Police is public, and police is public with uniform, and public is police without uniform. David H. Bailey says community policing means people play active role in policing, and police has a non-emergency interaction with the people to build trust. Non-emergency, that only when you dial 100 or dial 112, then only interaction is there. That is emergency interaction. What about trust building? There should be non-emergency interaction as well for community policing. So this can help in tackling law and order challenges. Suppose fake news is put on social media. It relates to tension. If community policing is there, then the police will interact with them, non-emergency interaction before it happens. So they will trust that this is a fake news, riots, etc. can be stopped. Now why digital arrest happens? Digital arrest happens, 23 crore one doctor lost. He was removing the money and giving to the person because of lack of community policing as well. If there was already emergency, non-emergency interaction, or he would have first contacted the local police, this is happening with me. But he did not contact the local police because absence of community policing. Then you can write some good examples, that is Mohalla committees in Mumbai, from where the community policing started. Friends of Police in Tamil Nadu, Jan Matri, many examples are there. Write some examples. But also there is need to institutionalize as well community policing. Community policing should become the part of policy, that it remains a personality driven, that some commissioner comes and encourages community policing, new commissioner will come, he discourages. Even the initiator of community policing in India, Julio Ribeiro, recently few months back commented, he was very sad with this sorry state of community policing in the state of Maharashtra. So yes, it should be institutionalized. So this technology evolves, etc. Even the police can learn from the people as well. People can be tech savvy also. Police may not be that much. It also talks about smart policing. Then you can also write the examples of how there are cyber police stations as well that way. So community policing and smart policing. So two aspects you have to write. Okay. Let's take question 7A. Many have made a mistake of interpreting smart policing and community policing as one. They are different. Smart policing is more of tech orientation, capacity building in terms of use of technology. Community policing is the traditional community policing of which was initiated by Robert Peel in London. So that is interacting with the people in the community sense, that is community policing. Okay, let's take question 7. Yes, many elected women representatives in local governments in India, especially from marginalized background, often struggle to govern effectively. So basically it's talking about how women are not allowed to govern even despite they've been elected. So write in brief first introduction that the 73rd 74th amendment makes a provision for 1/3 of the reservation for the women and 1/3 for women from SC communities, depending upon the how much of reservation is there for SC/ST in that particular district. So so use some data. So we have 14 lakh. 46% of the 1/3 it is mandated by law, but some state has even given 50%. So in all we have 46 elected women representatives in our country, approximately 14 lakh out of the total 32 lakh elected representatives. Okay, 14% and 14 lakh we have elected representatives, but they often struggle to function effectively because right now, simple question, why they? Why elected from marginalized section? So Pradhan Pati, favorite. Prejudices, caste-based discrimination, then competency, then first timers becoming the last timers. 5 years reservation is there, women reserve constituency. Most of them get elected from the women reserve constituency only. What about the general constituency? So 5 years there is women reservation, next 5 years no reservation, no woman gets elected. First timers becoming the last timers, lack of competency, lack of leadership, etc. Even the three three elected women representatives that have brought a transformational change in their respective local bodies have said that people don't take us seriously. Despite bringing so much of transformative change, you can write those names. Vimla Nag, Pratima Kurunji, and Sunita Ballabi. And of those classical examples, Chavi Rajawat, etc., you can write. But these are the latest examples. They have brought very transformational change in their respective district. This Pratima Kurunji belongs from the scheduled tribes, and and one of them is also belongs from the scheduled caste, and at the same time she is physically handicapped. Despite being women, they have brought so much of transformational change. But they have also said the same thing, that they don't take us seriously. Now what to do about this? Government must have done something. So government has some initiatives, which is some schemes under Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. 23 lakh women elected representatives have been trained till now, and it has Adarsh Mahila Gram Panchayat model also, that how much of the panchayat funds or plans have been devolved to the women specific component. So they only say it, only 5% of the panchayat has women specific component. And then there is there is also, yes, just Pradhan, to get rid of the Pradhan, Pradhan Pati syndrome. Government had constituted the Sushil Kumar committee, and it had made some recommendations. So write those recommendations. What are its recommendations? Sushil Kumar committee. Public swearing in of the elected woman representative in front of the Gram Sabha. Okay. Second, exemplary penalties for prevalence of Pradhan Pati syndrome. Exemplary penalties. And you give exemplary penalties, and what will be their social repercussion? What will be the social repercussion? Martial discord. The husband is facing exemplary committee, exemplary penalties, and the woman sarpanch is ruling. Martial discord may happen. This is in between. This is the recommendation. It further says, there should be mentorship. The woman MLAs and the MP should mentor woman elected representatives at the local level. There should be also leadership federation. You develop a leadership federation. Then there should be constitutionally meets of the various elected women representative among themselves. That will result in capacity building. Mentorship will also result in capacity building. And he further, the committee says there should be capacity building programs as well. Already the central government has a program, Sashakta Nari Abhiyan something, that is the capacity building framework. So this are all aspects you can write. So it says examine, so write the positive aspects as well, how women have also brought those transformational change. You can write those examples. See question 7b, very simple question, traditional question. Budget is a pivot around the financial, around which the whole financial administration revolves. Discuss the social, economic and political implications. So two parts. You have to first show how the budget revolves around, the entire financial administration revolves around the budget, and you have to discuss its socio-political and political, socio-economic, political. So budget. Right, in the introduction, budget is about expenditure and revenue. Article 112 talks about the annual financial statement, and budget is the most crucial pivot around which financial administration revolves. Then what is financial administration? Accounts, auditing, and accounts. This is financial administration. Without budget, will there be auditing of schemes? For whom there will be accounts be maintained? So this is the crucial aspect of the financial administration. It decides the entire fiscal policy for the entire country. And based on budget, there is accounting, auditing. If there is performance budgeting, then there is performance auditing, outcome budgeting, outcome auditing, gender budgeting. Then auditing also is done from the gender perspective. And account keeping also is dependent upon the budget. If there is more performance and outcome budgeting, then there would be accrual accounting rather than cash based accounting. So the entire budget financial administration revolves around this. Budget has social, economic and political implications. So write first political if you want. Bhawale talks about the politics of budgeting. What he says, budgeting is nothing but who gets what and how much. It determined by political factors. David Easton talks about authoritative allocation of values. Whoever has authority will get more funds from the budget. That is politics of budgeting. Then you also write through the budget, the government also implements its policies which during the election they have said this are our agenda, and that agenda is implemented through the budget. That is politics of budgeting. Even you can give example how when there is a coalition government, then states, coalition partners get a major share of the budget, Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. So this is politics of budgeting, political implications. Yes, and then you write socio-economic. The budget is also welfaristic in nature. It talks about welfare. Many schemes are announced in the budget. So write some schemes of this year's budget, the Pradhan Mantri Dhanya Yojana, or new schemes, or write for that the cancellation of income tax for people having income up to 12 lakhs. That is also socio-economic. Economic implication is that less revenue, and how because of that entire financial administration is revolved around the budget. The government has constituted a big committee to decide upon the revenue losses because of tax exemptions. So entire financial administration revolves. After budget has been done, then comes economic survey. Survey also scrutinizes all this. So financial administration, that too is revolving around. It has social, political and implication. The challenge of budget lies in how to balance good economics and ensure good politics. That is the major challenge on which the budget is rested. So that way you write, yes, simple question. Even the post-corp, there is B stands for budgeting, classical theories, and the entire financial administration revolves around that. Yes, but write enrich content, connect with this year's budget. See, if 2026 budget comes, the question comes on budgeting, do incorporate the 2026-27 fiscal year's budget, which will come in that requisite year. Okay, so that way it will give a current affairs also, open up the current affairs dimension, and it will be remain an enriched answer. The question is simple, anyone can write this, but you can score well by incorporating those dimensions. Okay. So one more we have budget related, gluten. Question 1b. Gluten hastens the budgetary process to meet timeline. Gluten hastens the budgetary process to meet the timeline. A simple question to write. Lakshmikant, what is gluten? Evaluate the procedure. Budget is presented. Then when recess is there, right? Then in recess, scrutinized by 24 departmental related committees, and then there is voting for demand for grants. So here gluten is applied. Then there is passing of appropriation bill and finance bill. So this is the entire budgetary process. Gluten is a practice where demands for grants which have not been discussed have considered to be deemed to be discussed and put to vote together. So when the budget is presented, there is a recess. Then in the recess, 24 departmental standing committees scrutinize the entire budget. Then there is voting for demand for grants. The business advisory committee identifies the important ministries, etc., whose demands for grants will be discussed, and because of the budget has to be passed before 1st April, there is a strict timeline, so it's not possible to scrutinize all demand for grants. So they have to apply in gluten. That is, those which have not discussed are considered discussed and put to vote in together. Ideally, all the demand for grants should be discussed because but the parliament is pressed for time and gluten is applied, but this also reduces the parliamentary accountability. With no discussion, how will you apply policy cut, those cut motion policy cut, economic cut, token cut? So also many times government also resorts to that when there is a disruption. Last budget there was disruption in the budget and no demand for grants were discussed and all gluten was applied and the entire budget was passed. So this is this procedure. You evaluate, then suggest reforms. What are the reforms for this? What can be the reforms? There should be in-depth scrutiny by these departmental committees, improve their scrutiny power. Then pre-legislative scrutiny, there should be scrutiny entire budgetary cycle. That's what second ARC2 talks about. Continuous scrutiny should be there. Estimate committee or public accounts committee scrutiny happens after the budget, after expenditure. Public accounts committee scrutinizes after the expenditure. Before there should be detailed scrutiny. Parliament, the parliamentarians should also improve their expertise. There is also some internship started where the some interns help the parliamentarians in better scrutiny of bills, etc. So that aspect you can write. And also, of course, question section B is full of technology. So, right, artificial intelligence, etc., should be utilized to better understanding of demand for grants. So, with the use of technology, all demand of grants can be discussed, incorporating technology in budgeting, etc. So that way it can be improved, and you can write that way. Simple question to write. Let's take new localism. Yes, interesting question. What is new localism? It's mentioned in your syllabus, urban local bodies chapter. New localism plays a crucial role in empowering local actors expand. See, new localism is giving autonomy to the local agencies to achieve the goals decided at the national level to achieve at local level. To give them autonomy to the local level institution, including the urban local bodies. It's more of application of new public management, that you decide and you give managerial autonomy to the local level institution, not just urban local bodies but other institution, district hospital, etc. This has been highly successful in the United Kingdom, where the National Health Service has been a remarkable benchmark in service delivery because it adopted new localism, and it is different from old localism. If this new, then there must be some old also. Then what is old localism? Yes, it was become a bureaucratic practice where autonomy was given to bureaucrats. It was it failed in UK, but that aspect you should not be writing in this. So that is new localism. Empowering local actors, you give them autonomy. Then there will be co-governance, network governance at local level, civic renewal at local level. Local level people only will manage things. Collaborative governance, new public service talks about co-governance. You can give examples of India also. Resident welfare associations in Delhi is an example of new localism. Alternative locality management in Mumbai, new localism. But new localism results in what? You are not, it is not resulting in democratic decentralization. You are empowering other actors as well. What about empowering local bodies? Political decentralization. So you should go a bit further. See, question says expand. This is a criticism of new localism. So two people talks about taking new localism further. First is Miliband. Miliband says new localism should encourage double devolution. You devolve to local actors, and local actors devolve to the more local and more more people at the grassroots. That is area sabhas. There is a provision for ward committees, but ward committees become so large, it becomes ungovernable. So there should be area sabhas. You give power to the local people, local actors who are directly contact with the who live at the grassroots and who use services. That it talks about double devolution. So that's why you have to write those aspects, not that just criticism of new localism that it goes against democratic decentralization. The question is expand. And then there is one more person. This all aspects happen in UK. Lyon talks about place shaping. Place shaping. Lyon, there should be place shaping. That is, you create leaders at the local level. empower them. Bottom up democracy, Robert Chambers' idea of reversal, that is place shaping. This is new local. They criticize new localism in UK. Tony Blair talks about giving new localism, giving autonomy to the local levels. But what for? What? Achieving national goals. They talk it as a Blair's paradox. What about empowering them from bottom up? They deciding themselves. So they say that there should be double devolution and place shaping. New localism 2.0. These aspects you should be writing. Gram Sabha. Gram Sabha aims to enlist community participation. Explain. See, very simple question. Article 248 talks about Gram Sabha in the 73rd Amendment. Gram Sabha is considered as a village parliament where all people in the electoral rolls can participate. Minimum 18 years, that is that to vote. Then you all electoral rolls people participate, and it's a village parliament that scrutinizes the Gram Panchayat, the Sarpanch, etc. That is Gram Sabha. It is in a way promoting deliberative democracy, democracy at the grassroots. So, Gram Sabha should be meeting minimum 5 times a year. That is Independence Day, 4 times a year, Independence Day, Republic Day, and 2nd October and 1st May, which is a Labor Day. So that village parliament debate discussion happened. It seeks to promote community participation. All people of all the communities can participate. You should just be a party. You should be elector in that Gram Sabha. So that way you can write, but write the other side that it's more of hardly even functions. They don't even meet 4 times. And there is the Gram Sabha becomes large, there is less participation of women. So there should be also Mahila Sabhas, which the ARC2 talks about, and 1/10 is the quorum for Gram Sabha. And so further it says 1/3 should be the quorum for women should be participating at least 1/3. So 1/10 is the quorum of Gram Sabha, that is minimum 50 people should be there in the Gram Sabha. And of this, 1/3 should be women to increase the participation of the women in the Gram Sabha, Mahila Sabha. Gram Sabha has also important role in various schemes that MG Narega, it does auditing, etc. But also it has found that educated people do not participate in Gram Sabha. It is still dominated by dominant section of the village, etc. So that's why it's also been recommended. So educated people don't participate. So Government of India also conducts Children's Sabha, mock Gram Sabha, so that once they turn 18, they will enthusiastically participate in the Gram Sabha. Even e-governance aspects have been used to encourage participation in Gram Sabha, the e-Gram Swaraj portal and Gram Sabha SAR, some app where you will all minutes of the meeting will be uploaded on about the Gram Sabha. So you upload everything online, and who will come offline? That is also one paradox. Everything is available, you can check. Nirnay portal is also there where all decisions of the Gram Panchayat can be seen. So if everything online, then who will come offline? So that is one aspect also. That is how you should be writing. Not much challenging question. Question 1E, identify the implementation 5E implementation challenges and issues of GEM, government e-marketplace. Yes. Now you have to write. This is a technical question, you can't skip. Government e-marketplace. What is government e-marketplace? Yes, whatever requirements of procurement needs are there, it will be procured through government e-marketplace. Suppose the government want to procure a stationery, then they will put order on that portal and they will procure the bidders will come. So it, in a way, it promotes competition, institutional pluralism and e-governance in procurement, so that to ensure transparency and transparency, minimize corruption in the government procurement. So what are the issues and challenges in that? See, first you can write digital aspects. In that lines you can write how there is a digital divide, only few people will get access to this procurement. It also requires registration. You should have a GST number, PAN details, where suppose a small self-help group is there, if they want to participate, well, from where they will bring GST, etc. So though the GEM portal has some mandate that you should procure some stuff from women self-help group, etc., lack of awareness, etc., you can write institutional capacity building of the people also who are using this portal, that is from the government side, that aspect you can write. Also it has been found that in GEM portal the suppliers supply very low quality material. The GEM portal is as such, you have to select the lowest price. So lowest price, low quality material is supplied. We also know one person who supplies to government through GEM portal. He had an order from Ministry of External Affairs for some computers, etc. So they want lowest price and he supplied computers, etc. They were manufactured in 2019, in 2025. Who will scrutinize that? There should be scrutiny officer also. 2019, no warranty, etc. But the criteria is that lowest price should be procured and 10% discount you should take.
Because I work in a PhD, so there is actually TNC, technical negotiation committee, and also we have to initially give the requirements. So that we should have given what all process.
Yes, but then there can be also corruption, etc., collaboration there. So that is the problem. Then it should be removed.
If you have given proper criteria, then this
It's nexus is also there. And also there was issue raised by scientists that good quality of material, chemicals we need. The Indian procurement is, there is no one to procure in India. We need to procure from outside. The mandate is that you should be procuring from GEM portal only. So that was removed then by the Ministry of Finance. They were given autonomy to procure certain materials.
So initially you have to publish it in GEM, and if you don't get any supplier, then you can procure from outside.
Some last year's Ministry of Finance made an exemption, something regarding GEM. And also about returns, etc., refunds also, it takes a lot of time. So many good suppliers don't participate, only in the GEM portal. So that aspects you can write. A bit different question. CP grams. CP gram does not effectively address the issues of local level. See, what is CP grams? It is a 24/7 grievance portal where grievance is registered and has to be solved within 21 days. That is CP grams. So the CP grams is interoperable, that it can be used by the central government agencies, all the ministries and department, even state government can participate in the CP gram. So there is a nodal officer, submit a grievance. Grievance should be solved within 21 days. And if you are not satisfied with the how the grievance has been solved, you can give low star rating and file an appeal. That is CP grams. So in a way, it seeks to promote digital governance, digital India, etc. But how it will is not able to solve the issues at local level. how it will not be. See, central government, state government, ministries are there, etc. Local issues, traffic, law and order, encroachment and other local issues are best addressed at local level. Then you file a grievance, then what ministry will, some encroachment grievance, which ministry will take into consider such a small issue? Ministries are huge. Ministry of Urban Development will take encroachment issue. The local levels, local issues should be solved at local level. That's why ARC2 talks about there should be a local ombudsman at local level to deal with local grievance. Make a grievance cell at the district collector level. Also, many state governments have not fully integrated into CP grams. They have their own grievance redressal mechanism, such as Rajasthan Sampark is a very effective portal. They use that, from that portal they handle the grievances. So states are also reluctant to go on CP grams. What about the federal structure? And grievances is solved by the executive against the executive. What about an independent body? And then nexus, etc. Then again, local level grievance need to go to the field to check the addressal of the grievance. They are not policy level grievances which are handled by the ministries and departments. So that way is better you promotes the principle of subsidiarity. ARC2 talks about local ombudsman, etc. That aspects you should be writing. That is what CP grams, etc. is difficult question to write. That too for 20 mark. Let's take question 7C. See, simple question, assess the role of government process re-engineering in promoting good governance. Now, what is government process re-engineering? What is government process re-engineering? Use the examples in the question paper itself which have been given in promoting good governance and government process re-engineering. Government process re-engineering is radical rethinking of the government process to make it more efficient, more citizen friendly, to improve the service delivery. That is government process re-engineering. Taylor also talks about re-engineering. Time and motion study, stopwatch. That was what? Minimize the number of processes, etc. Process re-engineering. Also, we talk about organization methods. We take it in a digital aspect, then it is government process re-engineering. It is very popular in the private sector, business process re-engineering. Re-engineer everything to improve service delivery, etc. That is government process re-engineering. Digital India e-Kranti is what? Government process re-engineering. Aadhaar giving, using Aadhaar, using use of Aadhaar to give benefits directly to the people. Government process re-engineering. Entire re-engineer every system, etc. Entire processes, that is tracking methods, etc. That is government process re-engineering. So how it promotes good governance? Good governance is about promoting quality aspects in the governance. What are the pillars of good governance? Participation. The three is equity, economy, efficiency, effectiveness, equity, transparency, accountability, rule of law, responsiveness. So plug those variables and write participation. That in the GEM portal anyone can participate. GEM is what? Government process re-engineering. The use of Aadhaar brings accountability and transparency in governance. So that aspect you can write. This way the government process re-engineering totally changes the landscape and improves service delivery. And you can also write that through Aadhaar, etc. there has been, people feel, 80% of the people feel that public service delivery has improved as a result of government process re-engineering. Question 5A, that is remaining question 5. 5A, na? That is remaining. Low cyber awareness among officials is causing cyber security issues in the administration. So from where this question has come? Current affairs, some major thing had happened in April. Operation Sindoor and cyber attacks, low cyber awareness. So, as India is moving towards government process re-entry and digital India, for administration to remain secured, etc., and government to work efficiently, the threat of cyber attacks and cyber hygiene should be maintained. As during Operation Sindoor, there were as many as 200 cyber attacks on the Indian power system. There was also that APT 36 by Pakistan, etc. cyber attacks. Some sites were made resembling Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Defence, and emails were sent from resembling phishing attacks on the officials of Ministry of Defence to get details of the Operation Sindoor. So low cyber awareness, even the website of Rajasthan government, etc. were hacked due to low cyber awareness, not streamlining, making website, encoded website, etc. So because of low cyber awareness, then for clicking on suspicious links, even WhatsApp groups were some compromised. So because of low cyber awareness, lack of training, etc. Many examples are there. Many examples are there where this you can relate with cyber security issues in now entire administration is digital. All benefits, etc. is coming at the district administration through digital aspects, and people don't know suspicious link difference between keeping very simple passwords. That is also one problem. So you can write reforms, training, etc. should incorporate cyber aspects. Recruitment already public administration paper, all cyber aspects. Recruitment should also test cyber aspects. Training, mock cyber attacks, etc. should be simulated to check the officials awareness, etc. and dealing with them. Even massive online open courses have been designed on cyber awareness, etc. for the officials working in the government. So this way you can write question 8, only question 8 is remaining right now. Last 3 questions. Metropolitan cities are providing major sources of national wealth, but their governance is fraught with intricate institutional relations. So one part, other part. So first, write in the introduction how metropolitan cities are share of national wealth. They contribute around 30% of the GDP, national GDP. Metropolitan cities of our country. Metropolitan cities are those cities having population more than 50 lakh. Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, Pune, Surat. These are all metro cities contributing 30% to the national GDP. So major source of national wealth, major corporate offices, etc. are in the metro cities. Major financial transaction happens in the metro cities. Financial capital, etc. Trade also happens in metro cities. They are part of the contributing to the national wealth. Now governance is fraught. Now you can write those institutional, integrate institutional relations. What does this mean? These are the institutional relationships we should be talking about. There is differentiation of rigs, but no integration. How many institutions are there at local level? There is Metropolitan Committee and as many as 16 planning agencies in Mumbai. There are also 43 utility agencies in Mumbai. So much of institution, what is the relationship between them? as we already discussed, how each one wants to build maximum power and authority. So this is what is the integrated relationship. Now Ministry of Urban Development is also there, that also regulates. There is smart city program and there is special purpose vehicle. And what is the relationship between them? Urban local bodies, ideally smart city program etc. should happen via urban local bodies. This is the integrated relationship which affects governance. The Economic Intelligence Unit releases the livability index. All the metro cities have been ranked in India, have been ranked very low. It's not livable because of absence of governance. Slumification in Mumbai, Delhi, what problem? Pollution, unbreathable, so many problems. And Kolkata is also, people say Kolkata is dying now because of no proper infrastructure investment. Hampering governance. Bangalore is the has the worst traffic because of poor governance. This is the integrated relationship between institutions. So what ARC2 talks about on this? What it says? There should be directly elected mayor. Well, so it will have a leadership at local level, and this institution should be streamlined. They should come on under the elected mayor. There should be mayor in council. ARC2 further says that traffic should also come under the mayor and under the local government. It's currently under traffic police is under the state government. It should come under the local government. There should be recruitment at local level also, urban local bodies, urban local services. And we remember we talked about Pulchi Commission, talks about environment in all India services. Already many big cities have elected mayors. You can write examples of New York, London, leadership. They do not fit this integrated institutional relationship. Even in Delhi, there are so many 3 local bodies: NMDC, MCD and Delhi Cantonment. What is the relationship between them? And what about the if entire Delhi NCR has similar profile, Gurgaon, Noida, etc. What is the relationship? The services of Delhi are also used by the NCR people, and NCR people also come in Delhi. So it's more or less one similar region. And also there are many planning authorities in Bangalore also, Bangalore Development Authority, Bangalore Planning Authority. What is the relationship between them? What is the perspective planning, long-term planning? How is the Metropolitan Committee planning? How is the plans are effective? Are they linked with the State Planning Board and NITI Aayog? So this is the integrated relationship, various aspects you can write, but solution should be directly elected mayor as outlined by ARC2. Then etc. you write deliberative democracy etc. Yes, questions 8B. Yes, difficult question to write. So generally training and capacity building meant the same thing, and here they are asking the difference. Ideally you should not be attempting 8th question. Attempted, no worries. Different things can work in the UPSC, not necessarily only one thing works in UPSC. So right in the introduction, training is about skill building, skill upgrading, So making the people fit for the requisite institution. It is about converting rough diamonds into polished diamonds. You are rough diamonds now. You will become selected to the civil services. You will go under training to make you polished diamonds. So you can shine in the governance and make Vikasit Bharat by 2047, hopefully. But training and capacity building are used interchangeably, but there are certain differences. So right differences make this. So what is the objective of training? Skill development in specific task or specific set of people. So all India services have training in Labanza specific tasks of administration, and capacity building is what? Capacity building of entire bureaucratic machinery, entire institution to promote good governance, policy reforms, service delivery. So entire bureaucratic institution, you build their capacity. That is capacity building, not just IS, not just IPS, not just central services, but entire institution of government of India. And you capacity of all the employees of government of India, government of the state, not just employees but also institution capacity building, better training, etc. That is capacity building. So that is this objective. The scope is very narrow, limited to specific service or specific individual. Scope is very wide. It covers the entire governance aspect to bring about good governance, etc. That is the scope. And approach. What is the approach in training? It's case study, lecture method, management games, etc. Here approach is to develop leadership architecture. What talks about this Kiran Agarwal committee? You create some leaders, policy reforms, reform the entire governance institution. That is the approach. Government process re-engineering. Outcome will be what? 3 E's in the requisite field. Outcome is better public service delivery, better institutional safeguards, better improvement. That will be the outcome. So which government program ensures capacity building? Yes, Mission Karma Yogi is about capacity building. National Program for Civil Services Capacity Building. Other name of that is capacity building. And training, you can give example, Labanza, etc. That is training for specific work and specific tasks. That is capacity building will result in not only expertise in particular skill but also behavioral competence, functional competence, domain experts. So that is capacity building. You therefore Mission Karma Yogi also incorporated. There is a one capacity building commission under Mission Karma Yogi. There is PM HR Council at the top. Then there is cabinet secretary coordination. Then capacity building. So capacity, anyone can use that. Government employees can use that. I got platform to train on demand, open to everyone. PSU employees, state government, central government. So it is more of a lifelong learning, not just for particular weeks or particular months. Lifelong you have to learn. That is capacity building. Reform institutions. Innovate seeks to integrate organizational goals with individual goals. This is capacity building. But you can write that that training also, capacity building also incorporates training. So this you can draw this Venn diagram. This is capacity building. Here is training. Capacity building. So this is what is the relationship between them. So examples also give Mission Karma. Implicitly is asking about Mission Karma Yogi. So last question. There too, artificial intelligence has innovative tool in disaster management. What you will write in this? Lot of scope of innovation. First, right traditional aspect, how India is vulnerable to disaster. 75% of the land mass is disaster prone, 60% for earthquakes, and 59%